You know what makes a ghost story really scary? It's not always the ghost itself. It's the buildup. It's how the story gets under your skin. Today, we're going to break down a classic, chilling tale from a small town in Uttar Pradesh. We're going to see exactly how suspense works, step by terrifying step.
So right off the bat, the story puts you right there in that moment. It's not about someone else anymore. It's about you. You're alone in the house. You hear that sound. And that first little jolt of fear, that's the hook. That's how it gets you. All right, so every good horror story needs a baseline, right? A sense of normal. So let's meet our main character. Let's see his world right before it all starts to fall apart.
So the setup, it's super simple. And honestly, that's why it works so well. We've got Rahul, a student. All he wants is a quiet spot to hit the books. He rents an old house, a classic horror setting, and thinks he's found the perfect place. Everything seems completely normal.
And here's the first real trick of building suspense. During the day, that house is just a house. It's fine. But as soon as the sun goes down, it transforms into something else. This contrast, between the safe and the unknown, that's where fear loves to grow. And then there's the sound. It's not some big jump scare, not a loud bang. It's something way creepier. A slow, steady, deliberate sound. By just focusing on this thak, 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 the story makes you picture every single one of those footsteps, coming closer and closer. So, of course, Rahul does what any of us would do, right? He goes to check it out. And what does he find? Absolutely nothing. By taking away any logical reason for the noise, this story forces you toward an illogical one. He tries to tell himself it's just his imagination, but that little seed of doubt? Oh, it's been planted. Okay, so one weird noise, you can brush that off. But what happens when it comes back? This is that moment when simple curiosity starts to turn into real, genuine fear. Rahul has to figure this out. And there it is. This is huge. The haunting is now a pattern. It's not just some random thing he can ignore anymore. The sound is back, and this time Rahul knows he can't just pretend it's nothing. He has to face it. And look at how he handles this. He doesn't just peek out his door. He musters up his courage, grabs a flashlight, and searches the entire house. And the result? Absolutely nothing. And that, in a way, is so much scarier. It's one thing to be afraid of something you can see, but being afraid of something that just isn't there, that's next level terror. Okay, but right here, this is the pivot, the turning point. His search is over, he found nothing, and he might even be feeling a tiny bit of relief. But the story, it's not done with him yet. And boom! Just like that, the entire threat changes. It's not a noise on the stairs anymore. It's a feeling. It's a physical presence. It's silent. It's immediate. And it's right there, behind him. The fear just skyrockets.
And then, of course, the oldest trick in the horror playbook happens. Because it always works. The lights go out. And just like that, our most important sense, sight, is gone. Rahul is totally vulnerable, trapped in the dark with that sound and that feeling that someone is standing right there.
This is the gut punch. The sound has moved. It's not out there in the house anymore. It's inside his room. The one place that was supposed to be safe, his sanctuary, has just become the very center of the nightmare. All right, so this is it. We're at the climax. The investigation is done, the running is over. Now it's time for the confrontation. Time to finally see what's been making that sound. With the power gone, his phone is the only thing he's got. It's his only light, his only weapon against the dark. He points it into his own room with no idea what he's about to find. This is that moment of truth. Now this is brilliant storytelling. The story doesn't just say, "We saw a ghost." No, it makes us build the image in our minds piece by horrifying piece. First, a shadow of a woman, okay? Then you notice her feet aren't touching the ground. She's floating. Then you see the eyes, pitch black, and the blood dripping from her mouth. Every detail is designed to be worse than the last.
And this is the moment that just breaks everything. Because the ghost isn't just an object anymore, something to be seen. It sees him. It looks back. It acknowledges him. And in that one instant, the wall between the living and the dead just crumbles.
I mean, really, what else are you supposed to do at that point? The tension that's been building and building just snaps. The sheer visual horror is too much for his brain to handle. And for Rahul, the confrontation is over. So, what happens after the scream? What happens when the lights come back on? Let's get into the final part of this story, the aftermath, where we finally get some answers. So Rahul wakes up, and the first thing he sees is chaos. His stuff is thrown everywhere. And that's the proof, right? This wasn't some bad dream. This was real. Whatever was in that room with him had a physical impact on the world. And here it is, the big reveal. The landlord shows up and finally gives him the backstory. Turns out Rahul was never even supposed to be in that room. It's been locked for years. This isn't a new problem. He stumbled into the territory of a permanent resident, and she does not like company. So the ending for Rahul is pretty quick. He's out of there the same day, and who can blame him? But the story itself doesn't really end with him. That last detail, that the footsteps can still be heard, tells you everything. The cycle just continues. The house is still haunted, probably just waiting for the next person to make the same mistake.
And there you have it, the anatomy of a perfect scare. It's all about starting with a simple sound, slowly escalating the threat from something distant to something right behind you, and then saving that final horrifying reveal for the very end. Rahul's story is over, but that ending reminds us that some sounds, some stories, they never really go away. Which, of course, brings us to the final question. Have you ever heard footsteps when you knew for a fact you were all alone?